I'm standing very simply because I'm a Democrat. That is what I'm standing for. That's my principle in life. It outrages me that they think they can run roughshod over every one of us, making decisions for us, doing little to really engage us or consult us. I think that has been an outrage for not just this year, but for 10, 20 years. And I think that this is a battle more than road closures. Road closures are outrageous, but to me this is a battle between them in there and us, the public, you people, looking at me and listening and campaigning with me over the last few weeks, years and months, being annoyed, outraged by the gap between the bureaucrats, the technocrats in that building we're trying to get into, and what each and every one of us live and experience ourselves, that there's a huge disconnect. And I think that one of the problems we face with is that plainly the politicians, the bureaucrats, the councillors have failed to engage us. All they do instead is online consultations and a quick opinion poll, a survey. That's their excuse. That's their excuse to never really talk to you in public. They might do a Zoom, but that's not good enough, and we demand better representation and engagement. So for me, the road closures are the tip of the iceberg of the problem they failed to engage us with politically. COVID provided them with the excuse. Political opportunism, as I describe it. Tories and Labour, under the guise of COVID, were using the road closures to try and provide themselves with a sense of political legitimacy, or purpose even. They thought closing the roads will give them a sort of credibility amongst the population, the public. They could do something once they thought was positive. Of course, we have showed them that is a completely ridiculous idea, a policy that never worked, and of course has created more division, more chaos, more carnage than we've seen for a long time. All they're doing is displacing the problem, thinking it will go away. And we're here to show them it hasn't gone away, and we're going to fight them all the way to stop it. And I think, as I say, this is a problem for me, not just about road closures, it's about our autonomy, our right as citizens to make choices about how we go about our lives, how we live, even how we choose to drink, smoke, what transport we choose, what we choose to eat. Even today, there's a story in the BBC saying that they're now going to ban coal-based fireplaces, presumably also Arga cookers, and everything else we choose to use in our homes. Again, not only are they content with banning us from driving cars, they also want to ban how you heat yourselves under pretense of being environmentally friendly. What does that mean? It means we're all going to freeze to death in the winter, where we can only look at a nice TV screen of a fireplace rather than have the warmth of one in the pleasure of our own homes. They won't stop at anything when it comes to regulating how we live our lives. What they're doing there, of course, is not providing us with adequate resources, transportation, heating, and so on. Instead, what they do all the time is blame us. We are the problem to them. We are the problem to be controlled and regulated to death, rather than us thinking that they should provide us with adequate public services that allow us to get on with our lives as we choose. That's what we should be demanding. Get out of our lives and stop regulating and micromanaging us in terms of how we live. We demand more freedom, more autonomy. We're adults. We're able to think for ourselves. Thank you very much. I tell you, I've met some interesting characters on my walking up and down 40 tower blocks in the States over the last 3 weeks in Bunhill. It's been a revelation. Community is not dead. Community is only hidden away. That's no surprise to me, because the Labour Party especially have smashed local communities for the last 20, 30 years. It's no wonder people are too shy and afraid to come out in public and say what they really think. But I tell you what, because we're standing as independent candidates, it's now a chance to reverse that and give people a real voice that's been taken away from them. That's what I'm about. I'm about political engagement, about finding, listening to people and giving them a public voice that has been denied to them, and they've been castigated, been people like Thornbury and others who still think we're the white working class racists. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is about us fighting back. But the final thing I'll say is that we have to fight back through independent politics, not through continuing to support mainstream parties, the Tories or Labour. I don't care what local candidates say about themselves under those banners. The Tories and Labour have done more than anything to destroy our autonomy and independence, and they'll go further every day to do the same thing. Now, if you decide to vote Labour or Tory, that's of course your choice, but you're prolonging their survival. You're prolonging the time where we start to take ownership of politics ourselves. And I'm going to say to you, in Bunhill, and Jodie Graber here is the Peters, now is the time to reverse that. Now is the time to cut the lifeline of the Tory party and the Labour party, and now is the time for a real independent voice. That is what I'm standing for, democracy. Thank you very much.
Well done, Martyn.